Yo guys, Red Marvel here, back again. I'm joined by my co-host Chainsaw. The Red Marvel podcast is back, episode 4. We're going to be discussing season 1 review or partial season 1 review for Spy Family. We're going to be talking about the Chainsaw anime coming out looking really sick, the Avatar trilogy that was announced, what's in store for that, and then we're going to end with Brick of the Week, Buzz Lightyear. What the heck went on there? But if you're new to Charm, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marble, follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Links in the description. And obviously, so you see the tracker below. But before we get into it, Chainsaw, how you doing?
I'm doing fine and I'm great to be back. There's a lot of amazing topics, especially Spy X Family and Chainsaw Man, which I'll love to get into. And yeah, great to be back.
Well, let's get into it then. So, Spy X Family Man, as people can see with the image, the last episode came out at least until October today. I guess I class this as season 1. So even though there were only 12 episodes, but my goodness, man, I really love this anime. So I mean, there were one or two issues that I'll speak about a bit later, but um, I just love the concept, the idea of like this kind of fake family, and just how it all kind of got together. One
It
of them
get,
obviously. Oh, sorry. By the way, spoilers. By the way, for those who haven't
oh
watched it,
yeah, this is spoiler alert
spoilers.
for this
It's
section.
a spoiler discussion. A spoiler discussion. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please move on to the next section. There will be chapters in, but this is a spoiler-based discussion. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. You've been warned. Sorry, go on.
With these three characters, Lloyd, Yor, and Anya, you get like three different things that
Mm,
you all enjoy. Like
mm,
Yor, you just like her; she's like wifey material. And then
mm,
you have Anya's cuteness and the comedy that she brings,
mm,
like elevate the show. She's like the number one reason why you'd watch the show,
mm.
in my opinion. And obviously Lloyd, being the typical spy, he's a good character. Like I enjoyed his character, but Anya for me, because I've done clips on the show, and she's literally like the main reason the fan base enjoyed the show.
Mm.
And yeah, should we start from episode 1 and move
I
on?
mean, we don't have to, I guess, go from episode, to episode, but I guess maybe like, what would you think were the most memorable? Because I guess maybe get into a little bit later, but I did feel the criticism for me was that I felt that the latter episodes weren't necessarily as good as the earlier ones, in my opinion. And I also
Ooh.
felt that Anya towards the end was getting a little bit annoying. Not she's still cute,
Oh,
but there's just a
I
little
see
bit,
what you mean.
yeah, a little bit more like this annoyance is starting to wear off a bit. And also at times I also felt that Yor was becoming a bit more of a, in some episodes, becoming a bit more of a background character. That she was,
Ooh,
you
the
know,
your fans are gonna hate you for that.
well, I mean, again, but this is in the latter, in towards the end, towards the end. So the beginning, I was like, whoa, okay, I can see there's a lot that people get involved and stuff like that. Then towards the latter, some of the latter episodes, it just felt that Anya was getting a little bit annoying. Yor was becoming a bit more in the background, like she's there, but there's nothing that's really like
Hmm.
like progressing her story. It's just okay, she's doing her role. Yes, she's a bad cook, and that's kind of about it. And then there's odd references to the fact that she assassinates people at night, but then that's about it. There's nothing really aside from the episode where um her brother comes in.
Hmm.
So to sort of you think, oh, okay, this is an interesting dynamic because his brother now tasked with like finding Twilight, and that's a complete. See, for me that was one of my favorite episodes because it was like this is now added a completely whole new dimension to this whole family because her brother, who she loves, um, who she's trying to convince she's in a loving marriage with, this brother is also out to get Twilight. Like, and now so Twilight now has to. So it's like, whoa, this is now more interesting dynamics. So The fact that
But
like,
I would say like the brother element, which was a good element
mm,
to a degree,
mm,
was that he he overreacts, which I didn't like. I
yeah,
know
no,
that's an anime trope, but like
mm,
I thought this was going to be a little bit more serious or little bit more like less forced. But
mm,
the comedy seemed a bit forced in that department, and
mm,
I didn't like one thing about Yo is that she keeps over like doing her character in the sense that she thinks about assassinating and
mm,
killing a bit too much. Like I get
mm,
it is a comedy, so you will overdo things, but it
mm.
was getting a bit tedious. I kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
She's like becoming
yeah,
that
that's
one trick pony type
exactly. That's what
character.
I mean. There wasn't really like a, that's why it's not that it's not that necessarily the episode was that the comedy wasn't. So I agree with you there. I think it was just the fact that it was nice that in the episode. It felt like they were advancing her story because it
That's
added a
true.
completely
That's
different
true.
dynamic to the situation where you're like, okay, where is this now going to go now that Yor has to continue to convince her brother because he didn't know ahead of time that like she's married and that this brother is a like obviously a dark agent whose task is to basically find like Twilight. So that for me adds a completely different dimension to what was already there because it's like you can clearly see that Yor and her brother really care about each other. So as soon as her brother finds out about Twilight, it's like, well, what's going to happen? That's a threat to the family. But obviously, that's maybe one for the second season. But they didn't really, most of the season was obviously built around Anya
Anya,
naturally,
yeah.
getting to school, doing their thing,
The,
the
yeah,
elegant approach,
that professor, oh, the master,
and obviously,
and Damien, Desmond, the operate. What was the operation called? Operation. Can you remind me? For
Operation Strix.
yeah, that
Yeah,
operation.
yeah.
So I did like Anya's character developing
Mm,
with Damien and like the
mm,
school arc, but
mm,
like one thing I would agree with you that you pointed out is that Anya's she became annoying, but like the cuteness bit was a bit too much as well. A bit like
mm,
your
mm,
assassination thing being too much, or
mm,
murder thing being too much.
mm,
Anya's one was like it's not like as it started in the beginning being natural. Like it was just
mm,
it suits the scene, but like as later as it went on, it was like yeah, Anya did her thing, you know, waka waka,
yeah,
or so exciting. Like
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Like I said, I just think that like I said, for me, this still overall is a very good season.
oh
It's just
yeah,
that
we don't
yeah.
want to over criticize.
No, no,
It's
no, of
just a
course not.
comedy, but
It's just a comedy. It's lighthearted. It's enjoyable. I like going to I like watching the weekly episodes. Although obviously I started watching Insight. I binged the first a couple episodes. Um, but the criticism is just because I know like that this can be even better, and I think that
that's
and
true.
maybe it's because it's only 12 episodes and like of other animes that I watched with seasons, it's usually like maybe like 20 or 24, something like that. So maybe just the fact that it is just they've gone down the Netflix, kind of route of 12 episodes and them. So if they're now thinking about what to adapt, what to cut, what to do, etc., to fit into this short 12 episode time, um, you're going to lose some of that character development. Certain characters were going to be sacrificed for that, and I just felt
I
that in this season, your was.
and you mentioned character development. Well, there are a few characters that need developing. There's one
Mm,
character that has been developed, and one
mm,
character's development that's been poor.
mm,
And in these three are
mm,
amazing, and they
mm,
did their roles
mm,
perfectly. And I enjoyed the anime
mm,
weekly, fully enjoyed it.
mm,
But our next topic, we're gonna discuss one that's gonna have its character development, one that has perfect character development, and one that I personally dislike, and that would be Avatar.
Well, stay tuned, obviously, for more Sparks Family. But as me and Chains agree, this was a very, very good season. And we're looking forward to see more in October. So make sure you guys check it out if you've not watched it already. Um, Avatar, though,
All three
like I said,
movies.
I'm not an expert on Avatar. I put my
Oh,
hands up.
I
I think
am.
Avatar. And I was and the time that I was going to get into it, it was when the live action movie came out. When I thought maybe I should go and watch it, and maybe that would introduce me to the world of Avatar. And
That's like the worst thing you
that was
could
a
do.
terrible, terrible mistake. A terrible, terrible mistake. Um, and I wish I regret to this day because after I watched it, I didn't even go. I was like, "What's the big deal?" And I didn't go back to it. So, but this seems like it's big news. Like
I
Chainsaw,
hope it's big news.
can you basically what I'm saying, Chainsaw, is with this trilogy announcement, can you try and tell me and also the viewers watching that this is not going to be a repeat of the live action Avatar: The Last Bender, and then this is going to be successful?
Okay, I'll say this. Okay, with Zuko and Korra, there are comics and like source material that they could use, so that there is a foundation for their movies. And plus, Zuko for me, his character development was so good in the last Airbender. It was like the parallel to Aang. Aang was getting his development while he was getting basically the mirror image of him finding himself, and trying to look for his honor, and then turning and then going against his uncle, and then coming back to join Team Avatar, and rediscovering himself.
Hmm.
While he was going through his journey, he also ended up being the Fire Lord, which you find out in Legend of Korra. So, just spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but hopefully most of you guys have seen it. And the in between period between Avatar Aang and then Avatar Korra, obviously we had the comics, so you could like read up on Zuko and what he's been doing as he became, the Fire Lord. And so they've got the source material, and there's huge excitement for his character developing even further, and you get to see it.
Hmm.
So they shouldn't flop
Hmm.
Zuko's movie. Zuko's movie should be a masterpiece. However, Korra on the other side, she has a huge fan base. How, but for me, her character development was so poor in the Legend of Korra. I don't have high expectations for that Korra movie, unfortunately. So they're like the both opposites. One's fire and it should be a masterpiece, and one's water, which is the exact opposite. And I expect it to be kind of mid and not that great. Now,
Okay.
Avatar Kyoshi, we know a little bit about her. Again, there is some source material on her, but like this one is like the unknown. This could be
Hmm.
like really, really good, or it
Hmm.
could be again just like Korra, a bit mid and too much
Hmm.
focus on like things that aren't that important in the Avatar
Hmm.
universe.
Okay.
And so this one's a question mark, but Zuko, I know he should be a complete masterpiece. And pardon the pun, it should be fire.
No, fair enough, fair enough. So just for the viewers and stuff like that. So when are we expecting these to sort of to pop off?
Kyoshi is 2024,
Hmm.
Zuko is 2025, and Korra is 2026. So it's 3 year each year, back to back. You have each movie.
And this is definitely live action.
I I'm not sure. I don't think it is. If it
Okay,
is, then we're entering Shyamalan territory,
okay, okay, okay,
where it could be a complete disaster. I'm hoping it's not,
okay.
um, but you never know. I mean, we've seen live action movies of Cowboy Bebop. I think Death Note had a live action movie,
Yeah, it did. Yeah, yeah.
and there's been a lot. There's been live action. Oh, One Piece is getting a live action movie as well,
Oh,
which
okay.
doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Not everything needs a live action movie. Unfortunately, Netflix doesn't get that memo.
No.
So Most likely, this could be live action. I'm hoping it's not. If it is, then I'm worried. Even for Zuko's sake, I'm completely worried. But like, there is hope and excitement, especially for Avatar fans like myself and others, that this could be like an amazing journey each year.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, speaking of amazing journey and hype, it's your boy.
Ooh, let's go.
It's your boy. It's your boy Chainsaw Man. It's your boy. It's your boy.
It's, it's my girl
It's your boy.
power right there. Let's
Um,
go. Okay, this
Chainsaw,
is gonna.
Chainsaw. Please, because I must confess, I am naive to this character. But so I need you to land Chainsaw. And like, why is this anime going to be, in your words, the best anime potentially of recent memory? Go on.
Okay, I'm not even off recent memory. Okay, I know I'm a fan, so please hear me out.
I'm
Okay,
hearing, I'm
this
hearing,
is
I'm
gonna
hearing.
be this is gonna be the biggest, the greatest, and it will transcend anime. This will be one of the greatest shows. Period. Like,
Okay.
I'm not exaggerating. Okay, put it like this, without spoiling it. Okay, and I highly recommend Red Marvel and anyone who hasn't read it. I'm presuming most of the viewers would have read it, but if you haven't, read it. And it's just part one right now, so this is going to be part one. The anime will focus on.
Hmm.
Put it like this: the pacing is fast. That's the only issue. I don't. I. It's not an issue for me, but it could be an issue for you or any other person reading it. But these characters are so well developed, especially Makima.
Hmm.
And I'm a huge fan of Makima. Again, this is a biased opinion, but her character development is one of the best I've ever read, and the way it's done, and the ending to Makima, no spoilers, is incredible.
Hmm.
And it's like something where you're like, wow, when you first read it. So it's like Makima is one major reason why the hype is there. But then you have Power. So if you like Power, as you see right there, her character is gonna be like really enjoyable. It's like
Mhm.
the fun character, if you want to call it that.
Mhm.
And then you have Denji, and then you have Aki, and there's other characters as well. But like, the concept is devils. So there's different type of devils. There's Chainsaw Man Devil,
Mhm.
and he has an ability or something that other devils fear. And I won't go into obviously spoiler territory, but there's just a little synopsis of who Chainsaw Devil is. And Denji, the main character, he wants to live a simple life. He's struggling to meet ends, where he's literally doing any task that any strange person would tell him to do. Um, like, there's how would I describe it? Like, if you pay him to do something, he will do it, whatever that thing is that you say for him to do. So he's basically a young kid that's struggling to survive,
Mhm.
and then he gets fortunate that he gets the Chainsaw Man Devil inside of him through his
Okay.
dog. Now, again, this will enter spoiler territory. I don't know if I should say it or not say it, but in the first chapter, he obviously goes and takes on this devil. Things don't go as planned,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
his dog asks him what his dream is, and his dream is to live
Mhm.
basically a simple life
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
simple dreams. And then
Mhm.
he gets a horrible moment happens to him. He then turns into Chainsaw Man, and story progresses, and Makima enters, and so forth, and it carries on from there. But there's loads of elements that are like so unexpected. Put it like this: there's astronauts cut in half in space, or not in space, but like in hell. Just loads of astronauts cut in half. Now that sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, but if you look at the
Yes.
panel, if you look at
Okay.
that panel, you'll be like, "Whoa!" The drawing of that panel is amazing. The characters are amazing. The situations are crazy.
Mm.
You'll enjoy it a lot, and hopefully, I'm hoping you catch up on it because I've got a lot of spoilers to discuss.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
then,
saying. I think that, hopefully, because when is it's when are they thinking that it's gonna be it's gonna pop off for the masses?
so 4th of July, we're gonna have the Crunchyroll Expo, and they'll kind of like give us information about the anime,
Hmm.
and so that's one thing to look forward to. Fujimoto, the author, is also going to release a one-shot manga series, so that's a massive thing to look forward to as well. And
Hmm.
then 13th of July is part two
Hmm.
of the manga. But I'm just going to summarize it like this: once Red Marvel hopefully reads up on this, we'll go through the spoilers, and trust me, we'll be able to dedicate at least a whole section or a larger section, and you'll see what I mean. It's really hard to talk about something without spoiling it,
Of
if you know what I
course.
mean.
Of course, of course. I think this is one that's definitely going to be that is definitely hyped and is definitely one to to stay tuned. Speaking of staying tuned, unfortunately, someone uh someone wasn't particularly tuned to this week, and I know it's a terrible, terrible joke, but Brick of the week. I mean, guys, this is hopefully going to be a semi-regular thing where, and obviously, let us know who you nominate. But um, I was I've not actually watched this movie. And I was actually looking, and I still probably will watch it, but I was actually looking forward to it. And unlike, say, Top Gun that I watched just last week, I felt that was really, really good, really amazing. The stuff that I'm hearing from Buzz Lightyear is not good. And I wasn't a fan of Toy Story 4, to be honest. I thought that that was a very weak and poorly written movie, and really made some of the characters perform out of character. So here I was thinking that maybe this Buzz Lightyear movie might actually, you know, bring Pixar back to turn of form in terms of purely storytelling. But it just sounds from the reviews that I've seen, from what I read, that that's just not the case. Whether it's just the chemistry between the characters, the villain, it's just been very mediocre, and that's kind of disappointing if I'm perfectly honest. Um, I mean, I don't know what you think, Chainsaw. Do you,
Well,
maybe the question is, do you think Pixar? I won't say Pixar are finished, but do you think that Pixar can ever get back to their kind of glory days, or is that
I
or is
don't
that
I honestly don't think they can.
okay?
It's like what was this movie basically about? Because I haven't seen it. I've heard people say it's really bad. Can you give me a quick
Yes,
briefing?
the gist of it from the synopsis that like I get is that like there's basically that obviously people know if they've got a mission to go to basically just go into space and to deal with the enemy. I think it's Zorg or Zord or something like that, who is the who's and basically just confront him. Seems to be the general sort of synopsis behind it. It's kind of it's obviously based on Buzz Lightyear and Toy Story and the whole his relationship with the kind of the Buzz Lightyear crew. I mean, there was, funnily enough, on the Disney Channel when I remember being slightly older, not late teen, but early teen. There was actually a Buzz Lightyear cartoon on the Disney Channel that had Buzz Lightyear and the space cadets, etc. And you followed him and all the other space cadets in space defeating the Emperor Zurg. And even though it was actually underrated, it was actually a pretty cool cartoon actually, amongst other things that were released on Disney Channel that at that time.
Can,
Um,
can you can you explain to me how does a toy go into space, or is it like
oh no
he's
no no this,
imagining?
no 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 this is a person. This is
Uh,
because remember the toy the Buzz Lightyear toy was
oh, was
based
based on
on
a person.
was based on a movie or whatever. So
Oh,
essentially this is
okay,
think of this as this is the movie that the Buzz Lightyear toy is based on. Think of it that way.
okay.
Does that
Okay,
make
that
sense?
makes sense. I was thinking to myself, how did the toy go from
Get alive.
someone's house and then into space? Like,
What's going on? No, no, no. That's
but
this.
but that that doesn't make sense. Then it's like that's a recipe of like failing, in my opinion. There's a, because we all recognize Buzz Lightyear as the toy Buzz Lightyear.
Mm,
That's who we see Buzz Lightyear as. And if you're
mm.
going to change it and rebrand him into his actual movie form or wherever he's meant to be, I don't, it just seems like you're dragging a franchise and just
It seems like it's a potentially a cash grab. I think that
exactly a cash
you
grab.
know
So it's
Disney.
like,
Yeah, I'm not liking the direction that Disney going where we seem to be rather than like writing new and interesting stories or at least giving existing characters character development. What we're doing is basically just kind of recycling or reimagining older franchises and giving them spin-offs to try and sort of so any real kind of uh emphasis towards a plot or development is sort of gone because hey, I can just recycle the same characters, which I don't think is right, in my personal opinion.
you use originality. And on top
Yeah.
of that, to make things worse,
Mm,
it's what you call the Star Wars effect. So it's like
yeah.
you rehash the same thing but
Yeah.
rebrand it as much as possible. So you're like,
Yeah.
here you go to the masses, pay
Yeah.
us money, and we'll just throw the characters and references that you recognize because
Yeah.
Disney and other platforms are basically using references and using the same characters that you know. So it's like,
Mm,
oh look, there's a reference, or hey look,
yeah.
you know that character. Do you
Yeah.
remember this character? And then it's like, oh, we made a story or a movie or a TV series based on what you already recognize as a kid or
Mm,
you growing up, and it's like that's just lazy. And then this is the outcome. Brick of the week
mm.
pops out of non-original ideas, and that's the problem.
Exactly, exactly. I hope that Disney change, but to be honest with the amount of money that they're getting and the amount of rights they're acquiring, I just don't see any incentive for them to do so. So it's sad,
Mhm.
but it is what it is, unfortunately. Right, guys, thank you so much. I know this was a short one, half an hour, but like, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Remember, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Links are in the description. Chainsaw, thank you so much. We'll be having more shows like this in the future. Let us know, give us feedback, what you want to see on the show, if you want to even come on the show. But get involved. Make sure you hit that like. Have a nice day, everyone and cheers.
Cheers. Have a good day, everyone.